to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site, on location at Onondaga Community College here in Syracuse, New York. And we're so happy to be here with you on the OCC Athletics Day of Giving here in 2025. And I am here with the woman behind the music at OCC Athletics who does an incredible job with all of the teams and all of the sports, working tirelessly, and that is Miss Taylor Cassella. Taylor, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, happy to have you here. So we are here, of course, at the SRC Arena, and as you know, if you've been to Onondaga Community College, the facilities are absolutely incredible, and that is thanks to people like yourselves that are watching and listening. So we have great facilities, great opportunities, and a great campus thanks to all of the giving that you do in this community of Central and Upstate New York and beyond. You can give while we talk with you right here. You can see that wonderful QR code. If you scan that code onto any device that you have, it'll bring you to the page that allows you to give to Onondaga Community College Athletics. And so we appreciate you doing that. And of course, we are inside our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Onondaga Community College and your Lazers for this Laser Lounge. So Taylor, having you here, we have joked about the opportunity to have you here, but now we get to actually sit in with you. You and I have gotten to talk a lot, and Taylor helps with setting up the coaches and the student athletes that you've gotten to see over these last couple months. What is it about OCC that you enjoy when it comes to sharing these stories of these amazing student athletes and coaches?
Well, it kind of all starts with the fact that not too long ago I was here as a student athlete myself, and that's where I kind of established the connection with this place and this department. So having that tie, having been through it myself, has really made it a passion for me, and I see the importance of being on the other side. I've experienced it from the view of being a student athlete, the view of being a coach here, and now the view of being an administrator. So I've seen it from all different angles, and it's just a special place, and I feel a great tie to it, and I understand the importance of it as well.
So you said yes to OCC not once, not twice, but 3 times.
3 times.
Why?
Because, I mean, the word community is in the title of the college, and there really is a sense of community. You know, we're not super large, so everybody is kind of familiar with not just each other, but just kind of what's going on. And it's almost, I like to think of it as our, like, I don't want it to be a secret, but it's kind of like a well-kept secret, because I didn't even know that OCC had athletics before I was here. And now that I am here, it's obviously my entire life, it's my job. And so and now that you're here, it's like you're experiencing it from the inside and just how special it is. And it's kind of one of those things that you just don't know until you know. And I definitely know about it now, and it's incredibly special.
Well, and you said, like, you don't know until you know, and obviously having this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership is to not let it be a secret, right? To get it out there and to showcase. And we've been able to share so many amazing stories within these first couple months, one of them being the story of Paul Clark, who just won a national championship in Iowa, which in the snow, so all too fitting of Central and Upstate New York. But I mean, we're here on this day of giving for OCC Athletics, already celebrating the fact that OCC Lazers women's soccer had a tremendous season. We know that volleyball had a tremendous season. We know that through adversity, we saw a positive move forward with men's soccer and some of the things they did in their season. And for cross country, Paul Clark winning a national championship. So we're just a few months into 2025-26 here at OCC when it comes to athletics, and we've already seen so much success.
Yeah, incredible success, and I definitely want to shout out Paul. He's not only incredibly talented and an extremely successful runner, but I've gotten to know him in the last 2 years that he's been here, and he's just a fantastic human being. Having to nominate him for countless awards at this point, I've learned that he devotes his time in the community, he does volunteer work, he's an incredible student. He was last year's SUNY Student Athlete of the Year for cross country. So yeah, above all else, he's an incredibly talented runner, but he's an incredible human being, and because of that, I'm so happy that he's been so successful, and I'm so happy that he's gotten this title. So definitely have to shout him out. And there's already people in the community, Syracuse.com, and all over the place that heard about him and what he did, and they're giving him all the attention that he deserves. So yeah, that's just one of the several success stories that we've had. But yeah, really, really successful fall. Like you said, our soccer teams were great. Volleyball did great. They've had a great season, better than they have had in a while now. Men's and women's basketball, they're off to an amazing start. Are excited to see what our men are going to do this year, and our women just continue to be this powerhouse of a program, and it's extremely fun to watch, and I consider it a privilege to come here every day and go to games and call it work. So
Yeah, and that's and you accentuated everything about what we've seen in the fall, and going in to the winter, we've seen this Onondaga Community College women's basketball team have just an amazing national prowess over the years, with Mike Wheeler and into Kelly Grinnell's site, and then with Mike Sugamosto taking over the men's basketball program. And going into this season, we have already seen great success coming up so early on, and playing to one possession against a Division II team, with Onondaga Community College being in Division III. And so if you can hang with the division above you and make them beat you down the stretch, where if they had made a couple more free throws, I mean, we're looking at an OCC game with men's basketball that did not look like Division III to Division II. It looked like that Division II team is going to need to figure some things out, because this Division III OCC NJCAA program just pushed them to their limits, pushed them to their brink. And I think it says a lot about where they're going to go and what they're capable of. And I've been telling people for over a decade, when it comes to men's and women's basketball here, if you're not paying attention to OCC, you're missing out on nationally ranked and respected teams.
yeah, absolutely. And not only did we just hang with the Division II program, but the week prior we knocked off the number 11 team in the nation, Genesee, with a near buzzer beater at the end to win it. So nothing short of exciting, nothing short of incredible from them so far. And it's just, coach does an incredible job, and he is big on local talent. He believes that there's so much local talent that you don't need to, really do much traveling in order to get a solid roster. And that's what he's doing. He's promoting the local talent that we have right here. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do this year. Really excited.
Yeah, so as we're here speaking with you on OCC Athletics for the Lazers, this is our day of giving. And of course, Wednesday, November 12th, for 24 hours here in 2025, you can donate right here at that QR code. So while you're watching and listening, you can feel free to, on your phone or whatever device you have, to make sure you go to that QR code, and it will take you directly to how you can give. And so to speak on the ways you can give, can you choose kind of like giving specifically to like a general fund? Can you pick a team? Like, bring us into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we give you the option to give to any specific program that you want, whether you were affiliated with one or whether you're a family member or a friend of somebody who's a member of that program. You can absolutely donate to a specific program, or you can donate to our general athletics fund. But any way you do it is helpful and beneficial. There's just so many ways to support everything that we do. And so yeah, we give you the option. If you feel a certain tie to a certain program, you're absolutely welcome to do so.
So, I mean, with what you're saying here and just looking at this day of giving, you can give to that general fund where Onondaga Community College Athletics will decide, where does that money need to go at certain times, or you could go directly to the program. And there's so many programs here. I think 21 overall that we're talking about. So
including club, yeah.
Yeah, including
20
club.
Intercollegiate teams.
Yeah, 20 intercollegiate teams, and a little bit over if you include the club teams. So, there's so many different places and different sports to give to. And so when someone is giving to the general fund, to go into that a little bit deeper, if they say, hey, I don't have any specific place, I don't have any specific tie, but I want to give to OCC athletics, why give to the general fund? Where could some of those funds go?
So we just hosted the annual Laser Tip-Off Classic in the arena right behind us. And so in that tournament, we had 8 games, and for each and every game, we have an entire table staff that we pay out of our general athletics fund. So it's not cheap, but other schools, they don't have that, so they have to utilize students to be at the table, keeping clock, being a PA, but we like to provide that high quality game management. It just enhances the student athlete experience. So it goes towards things like that. And then you can look at the fact that we were just able to send our cross country team to Iowa. That's flights for 10 athletes, 2 coaches, that's a hotel for all of them, that's food for all of them. And the fact that we were able to do that, we just had a guy win a national championship. So if we weren't able to send him there, who knows if that would have happened. So we did the easy part. We got him there, and he won the championship. But, yeah, it's stuff like that our general fund goes towards.
Yeah, and that's a great example, and it's important to know that, right? We're talking about Paul Clark as a national champion. He puts the work in. He has the drive and the God-given talent. But to get him there, you can help with things like that. You can help Onondaga Community College to make sure that they have the funds they need in their athletic department to be able to pay for these hotels, pay for the food, pay for the travel, so that we can get these student athletes onto the national stage. Paul did all the work to qualify for it, but we have to make sure we get him there, and we make sure we get him there with your help. So it is very much, like Taylor said, Onondaga Community College, that word community in the name, that you're a part of national championships because you're a part of that giving that makes sure that Paul has what he needs.
Absolutely, and I'm honored to have say I was a part of his journey here, and just the fact that, I was able to witness him do everything that he did, and not just him, but everybody that's here is a huge honor, and every little bit of support helps. College athletics is not cheap, everybody knows, but, every little bit helps, and we're fortunate to even be able to ask, so.
Yeah, in this day of giving, how important do you believe that this is for the overall goings-on of the whole athletic department as well as the individual teams? Because, again, when people say, well, where does the money come from? It comes from the help of the community to make sure that you have, it comes down to jerseys too, right? Making sure you have jerseys, making sure you have the equipment. You want these teams to look good, feel good, and have what they need. We have these tremendous facilities. That all comes from your help. And so when people want to see OCC win, well, that comes with making sure you get people here, and you get people here by providing the services they need to have the best experience that they can have. And, so to me, it's cyclical. If you want to win championships, then you have to make sure that you have what you need in order to do that.
Yeah, and not only that, we have an unbelievable college president who is tremendously supportive of what we do and everything that we do. He will show up to practices and just talk to the teams and the coaches, and you see him walking around campus. He's repping the big O on his hat, and he will show up to games. It's just absolutely fantastic to have that support from him, and he will promote our success from his end, and so that's a huge part of it too. Having that support is just necessary to do what we do.
Right, and bonding the academic side to the athletic side, and making sure that this is one cohesive, inclusive community, which I think we definitely have here. And I had the opportunity of meeting the president when I was asked to speak on a panel for, the world of communications and the communication arts. And so that was awesome too, to have that interaction of, hey, I know who you are, I know what you're doing, and to have a president, because not every school has that. Not every school has leadership that wants to know who people are, what are they doing, how can I get involved, how can I help, and he said, here's my cell phone number. You need me, reach out.
Right, and yeah, as athletics, we are a member of the enrollment division. So, I mean, we are bringing a certain percentage of students here. They are coming here to play women's basketball, to play men's lacrosse, to play men's basketball, everything. And then there's, the side of things like me. When I came here, I was just like, I was a student, and I thought, hey, I'm going to get back into softball. I'm going to join the team. But yeah, essentially, I mean, there are a lot of people out there that athletics is their way of getting an education. It motivates them to get an education. So it's just a very, very contributing part of an education for a lot of people is, they have that drive. I want to be a part of this team. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to remain a part of this team. I'm going to maintain this GPA. I'm going to take this many classes. So it's just, it's a special thing, what we do.
Absolutely, and it's great to have this day of giving here with us and to be at the SRC Arena and be able to showcase the beauty of OCC while we're here talking with you. And with the conversation of, speaking on Dr. Warren Hilton, the president of Onondaga Community College, and how he reps athletics and cares about athletics and all of that, I think it's really important to share the fact that, his personality, the positivity that he has, and I mean, what I love too is when you look at some leadership of certain places, there's the ivory tower that some people live in, and he does not. Like here I am in front of the students and talking with them about my career and, advice that I could give and whatnot. And he walked up to me, put his hand out, and he's like, this is who I am, this is what I do, and whatnot. So I love that he's personable. I love that he's approachable. And I love that Dr. Warren Hilton, the president here at Onondaga Community College, cares so much. And I'm sure this means a lot to him, right, that we're here today speaking of this day of giving.
Yeah, absolutely. And the very first interaction that I had with Dr. Hilton, I remember it was a couple days after he was hired here. And he introduced himself to me, and I introduced myself to him, told him my name. And then it was probably it was a couple weeks later, and I saw him outside walking on campus probably like 20 yards away from me, and he looks over at me and he goes, "Hey, Taylor." I'm like, this man probably met 500 people in the last few weeks, and he remembers my name.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, and small stuff like that, that was immediately the moment where I knew that this is the type of man that you want leading your college. I mean, that just something as small as that just says so much about a person's character, and that really stuck with me.
Yeah, and that's, again, being personable and caring about who you meet and remembering names. And I think about stuff like that all the time, right? When somebody sees you and it's that immediate like, "Hey, Dan, hey, Taylor, how you been? What's going on?" And they've only met you one time.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of beauty. And speaking of the beauty, we're looking over here at this awesome SRC Arena, and you talk about the Laser Tip-Off Classic, which was here, and you talk about utilizing the general fund to pay for the talent that is there to run the scoreboard and to be, the PA announcer and whatnot. I mean, the facilities here are great, but when it comes to upkeep and having everything that you need, it's important to donate, and it's definitely, important in this world to look at there's so much here. This is an amazing asset here to Onondaga Community College. And I have to give a lot of credit to Onondaga Community College because many years ago, this was being built when I was talking with Rob Edson at the time. And, what it could be and what it could mean to it. So, when it comes to all of the fields and the courts and everything that you have to offer, including the SRC Arena, just to speak to that side of the general fund as well, that, we're giving back to a campus that, in my opinion, and I can say this because I've lived it, this NJCAA Division III campus and institution has better facilities than some NCAA Division I, II, and III schools.
Yeah, big statement, but it's true.
So, to you, to come to work every day and to have these wonderful facilities, knowing that general fund can give back to them as well, just what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually have to have just to name another thing that costs money is we have to have an external group come in and actually lay the court down, which is very, very costly. So that's another thing that goes towards. But yeah, I mean, about the facilities, the fact that I got to play on our softball field is incredible. It's a time of my life that I will never forget. I always said that the turf out there has like magic powers, so much so that it makes you faster. Just the way you fly on that turf is unbelievable. And yeah, the arena back here, I mean, we hosted TBT this past year and have many times before. And yeah, I work here, so I have the key so I can get in and go to events like that. You know, we host all the local graduations. It's very versatile. And yeah, the facilities, I mean, we could go on forever talking about how beautiful they are, and they really are, and it's we're very lucky to have what we have.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, to have this gem that we are not hiding when we talk about Onondaga Community College and the athletics here in today's Day of Giving. Once again, the QR code that is right here next to me, you can tap and get that code and then follow the link. And when you're at that link, you can decide to give to the general fund or to a specific sports program itself here in this OCC Athletics Day of Giving, November 12th, 2025. And I mean, you talk about the turf. I've spoken, you know, I do a lot with the high school student athletes and coaches and programs around Central and Upstate New York. And a lot of these baseball and softball teams are working on whose facility is almost done, who has a plan for a facility, who's working on their facility, and who needs a facility in order to have the turf. They want turf here because there's so many games that are getting canceled, postponed. The season's insane. Some of these teams are playing 5 or 6 games in 8 days or 5 games in 7 days and just trying to get games in when the weather gets better. So, I mean, something as simple as taking the Day of Giving and giving to the general fund or giving to softball or baseball is the understanding of having that turf and having something that so many schools and teams want in Central and Upstate New York, and they're working toward having these. And I mean, I'm talking to coaches all the time, like, I wish we had turf.
Right. Yeah, and we host a ton here. I mean, we host Section 3 basketball here in the arena, Section 3 baseball and softball on our fields. And yeah, there's always constant people reaching out, hey, can we rent the facility on this day? And the good part about that is, say, you know, another team wants to use our softball field because the weather is affecting their clay field, their dirt field. If our softball team is able to host them and run that event, the rental fees actually go to their program, so that's incredibly beneficial to our programs as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's cyclical of giving back, right? And for you, Taylor, when you're on this Day of Giving, and I've had the opportunity to be a part of the world of having 24 hours of giving, right? And it to some people it's like the Jerry Lewis telethon, right? It's that excitement, and you're constantly going. For me and how I've experienced it, it was getting a bunch of coaches together and having videos all throughout. I did one during COVID times when I had COVID, and I'm spending 13 hours posting videos. So how do you tackle a day like today?
Yeah, so actually the last 2 years that we've done this, it was a week of giving, a full week. And we weren't exactly getting the results that we were hoping for. Still pleased with everything that we received, but we got some feedback and decided to put all of our efforts into one day. So it really is going to be like an explosion, and all into one day instead of a full week, because it's kind of hard to keep people's attention for a full week in terms of fundraising. But yeah, we're trying something different this time, and so we're hoping to bring in some gifts.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about this is that on this Day of Giving, as Taylor just alluded to, you're part of history. You're part of the first time that OCC Athletics is doing 24 hours, not a week, just 24 hours that you have to give. Some of you might wait and you're going to do it late at night. You want to be a certain number of person that gave, or you want to surprise somebody later on. Some of you want to tackle it early. Some of you want to give, you know, I'm going to give this certain amount, but I'm going to spread it out, right? I'm going to give this at 1 o'clock and this at 3 o'clock and whatnot. So enjoy the day of giving however you choose to give, but make sure that you do give, because Onondaga Community College, as I've known this for over a decade, and it started with knowing that my mom came here and that my mom spent some time at Onondaga Community College, and I love her dearly, to seeing the teams over time, interviewing the coaches and the players, to celebrating them when other people didn't, to having Rob Edson come here and my memories of him at Coyne Hall, to everything with Mike Borsch and knowing him from pretty much the day he came in to be the head of athletics here at OCC, to meeting the coaches over time that have come in and the student athletes that I've seen over a decade, and to spending some time with Taylor as well. I mean, this is a true amazing department. You all work hard, and there's a lot that goes into the recruiting, finding the right student athlete in the classroom, on the fields and the courts and whatnot of life and the tracks of life. And I mean, I've always rah-rahed OCC because it's been easy for me. I like the people and I like what you've done. So the day of giving to me is a very easy thing for me to sell, because you all know I've talked about OCC on this show when all the other outlets didn't. So any final thoughts that you want to say about why OCC?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you were speaking about the type of people that are here. And on the topic of, you know, financial aspects, our coaches are not full-time. So the reason our coaches are here is simply based on the fact that they have more passion. I might even go as far as to say that they have to have more passion than a full-time coach would have, because they can't live off of what they're doing. They have their outside lives. They have their full-time jobs. Some of them even found a way to get a full-time job here on campus so they could be here to coach. Our head women's basketball coach has a job here on campus. Our track and field coach is here on campus, and a few others. And just the fact that coaching here means so much to them, it's a huge part of their life, and that just speaks volumes as to why we're here. Like I said, it's all centered around passion.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the greatest messages that we have here, is not only do we have national champions and national championship caliber programs at Onondaga Community College, but the people that give to these programs are not getting paid, you know, millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're coming here out of the goodness of their heart. So when you give to them, you're giving to people that truly love their craft, and they give so many hours to it. And to see the work that they do and the work that they're willing to do for a place, it's not about the money, it's about the passion, it's about the drive, it's about what they truly love to do, and working every day to achieve these things. And like Taylor has said, and I can say, when you get to know these coaches and you get to know these student athletes, it would be easy for you to give and not even think about it. And that's why we have this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Onondaga Community College and your Lazers, so that I can share these stories, so that you can get to know the coaches I know, get to know the student athletes I know, get to know the leadership that I know, so that you can understand the why and you can be a part of this greater Laser community.
Absolutely. You said it all.
So with that being said, right there is where you give. We'll share it on our social media, Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. This is the code that you need to make it really easy. But if they don't use this code, Taylor, can they just go to OnondagaLazers.com? How do they tackle it?
They can. They can go to OnondagaLazers.com. It'll be right the first thing that pops up on the day. It's all over our social media. You'd actually have to try not to find it.
So yeah, make sure you go to our social media here with Wake Up Call, as well as the social media of OCC, and you will find this day of giving code. And of course, you can go to OnondagaLazers.com. Thank you in advance to everybody that gives. Thank you to everybody that has given. And we look forward to building this community at Onondaga Community College together with you. As always, God bless, No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon for this edition of the Laser Lounge. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.